Okay, everyone, are we ready to get this meeting started? I'm so excited about today. Welcome, 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 everyone. This is Quantum Field X39 Saturdays training, and we have a very, very, very special guest today. Renita, are you on the line?
Can you hear me, beautiful?
Yay, I see you and hear you.
Awesome. I'm doing amazing. I'm actually at a training in Minneapolis, so I went to the car, and thank God there's a 5G tower. I usually hate 5G, Onyx, but there's a tower literally 50 yards from me, so I thought this is going to be perfect.
That's good. Well,
good cell service.
I am so excited to have you here. You've been with the company for just like barely a month. I think it's like 34 or 35 days, and I think you've already personally sponsored, I think it's over 300 people now. So I'm really excited for you to share with the Quantum Field team. I'm really excited that you're part of this organization. I thought we would start by maybe you just telling everybody a little bit about yourself and who you are and where you are, because you're going to be a force to be reckoned with at this company. I'm very excited to say. And then I'll just turn it over to you and let you train.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you, Onyx. I just adore you. So thank you so much for your leadership and just, I mean, you know what I love about Onyx? She just says it and gets it done. And those are the people that just are close to my heart. So can you guys hear me okay? Because I kind of have my air conditioner on because it's warm. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I'm up in Bismarck, North Dakota. Typically, that's where my husband, Scott, and I live. Scott is a huge part of our business. And most of you, if you've been sponsored by me, have talked to Scott because he is my just right-hand partner with all this. We have 3 boys. They're 22, 17, or 15 and 13. And we have a girl dog, a big golden doodle. And I've been in health for 25 years. I've been a health, nutrition, wellness, lifestyle coach, behavioral change specialist. I help people change their life to feel better, live better, just high performance, you know, want to take their life to the next level type deal. So whether it's health, nutrition, lifestyle. So I've been doing that for a long time. I will tell you this, I've not worked on something as fun as this X39 patch. The last 30 days, I literally named my business, LifeWave.com/joy. And the reason I did that is because I felt like I was entering a different season. You know, a lot of us in the last 2 to 3 years, if you're watching, we've experienced this crazy pandemic. We know probably someone that's got very sick, maybe even family members have passed. And I'm so sorry for all of that. The truth be told is I believe now that we're entering a season of joy. And honestly, the Lord spoke to me on July 5th. I woke up after sleeping, by the way, which I didn't do for 8 months, waking up when the light was in my bedroom. I've typically been waking up at 2 a.m. Can you imagine this for 8 months? But I woke up, the sunshine was in my bedroom yet again, and the Lord sat me on the edge of the bed, and he said to me, you are entering an abundant season of miracles. And it was just as clear and audible as Onyx talking to me. And I stood to my feet and I just said, yes, Lord. So I believe that all of us, all of you watching today, this is just not a Renita Brannon thing. This is for all of you. We are part of something so spectacular where the goodness of God will be just completely magnified in this season. So I encourage you to get busy because we are the workers. Like the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. So we got to get busy and get out there and make it happen. So that's a little bit about me. Anything else you want to know? I love network marketing.
I just want to let everybody know, if they don't know, that Renita actually got to one rank from the top. She's already a presidential director. So I'm very, very excited for you and Scott.
I'm super fired up.
Super fired up, and you've only just begun. You're really not even 6 weeks into the business, so it's amazing to watch, and it's amazing to be a part of it. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
I was going to say, Onyx, it's really because of the team, right? It's not just Renita. I mean, I can sponsor. I know a ton of people, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the truth is, it's our team. Our team is grabbing hold of this, and they are wellness warriors. They are people out there making a difference, and they want to share with others. They want to improve their own life first and foremost. People around them, their children, their aging parents, right? Their next door neighbors. And then they say, you know what, that extra money would really be an awesome thing. Like, tell me about this business. So I feel like the receptivity and just the incredibleness of our team is just so phenomenal. My team, the people that we put in our business and that are even just product consumers of this right now, they're literally just patch wearers, are just like the best of the very best. These people are just moving in the right direction. I mean, they're flipping their story on its head. If they've had illness or sickness or dis-ease in the body, they are flipping that story as we speak by putting that patch on every day, by plugging into things like we have going on today. I mean, we're going to be in the flow of this incredible season of miracles. And I'm just so happy you're all on it with us, because I think this is just going to be the funnest thing that we've ever done in our entire lives. And Onyx, we've had fun before, like with Monavie Days, that was a lot of fun. And we had lots of great testimonies. I feel like this is times 10. This is times 10 of what we had back then, because this is even simpler yet. I mean, it's a patch. I literally am walking and you can put it in your pocket. Like, I'm wearing a patch at the thing. I'm at an event with a bunch of nurse practitioners, chiropractors, physical therapists. And the scale today says to me, "What? Can you tell me more about that patch?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So I'm walking amongst these people, they see my patch on my shoulder. I got news for you guys. Put it where someplace where you could see it. Like, I went to an event last night where there was hundreds of people. I'm not the person who says, "Oh, I got to hide this thing. I don't want anybody to ask me." I'm like, I feel like wearing this thing in the center of my head so everybody asks me. Because trust me, everybody at this event is probably going to be hungover tomorrow morning because they're drinking a lot and they wish they would have had this patch, right, Onyx? So for me, I think that probably the secret to a lot of what Scott and I are doing is we're very, very loud and proud about it. This is not an undercover brother mission. I mean, if they can be loud and proud about all the stuff that we've seen on the media in the last 2 years, which is literally mostly from the pit of hell, we can certainly be loud and proud about something that is restoring people's mitochondria, their stem cells, all of this incredible healing modalities of our body that we all can plug into. So we should be such huge promoters and advocates of this, and if you're not, I'm here to tell you, you will only talk about and be excited about to the level of belief that you're at. So if your belief is not big enough yet, you're probably still not wearing your patch where anybody can see it. If your belief is not big enough yet, you're probably not, striking up a conversation about it. The most fundamental thing of all this for you to get out and sponsor people and help people to get well, be well, and stay well is to increase your own personal belief. And how do you do that, right, Onyx? That's the big question of the day. How do we increase our own belief? Because we're always operating from this old playlist. Some of us have the old playlist from the 80s in the tape, and it just keeps repeating. And you need to take that tape out, like break it over your knee. Although some 80s music is really good. But I mean, we've got these old patterns that are playing, and 95% of our daily actions are stemming from that old tape. 95%. So 5% is our literally conscious mind, where we're making a conscious decision. I'm making a conscious decision that I'm going to choose different today. I'm making a conscious decision today. I'm going to wear that patch where someone can see it. I'm going to make a conscious decision today that I'm going to go check out Start X39. I know Onyx has said it 5,000 times and Renita has said it 1,000 times, but I haven't clicked on that website yet myself. Why not is the question. Do you want to increase your belief, or do you want to stay stuck on the old cassette tape? Right? So we need to kind of get to the next stage. So I know we have a little presentation, which is always good because I need to stay on the rails. And we know that's sometimes with me it's easy to get off. So maybe if we could, do we have that up? Sure. Are we going to pull that up? Okay, let's do that. So this is where it really all started. And you guys, at the beginning of 2022, I told my husband, Scott, I said, the word of the year for me is alignment, because I feel like when I'm aligned, I'm in a powerful place. And all of you should feel the same. Again, this is not just a Renita and Scott thing. When I am in alignment, it's almost like I'm plugged into a supernatural power greater than myself. And I call that God. My belief is in Jesus Christ. I believe in the Holy Spirit. But when I'm aligned, I'm doing things that are glorifying God, essentially. It's bringing goodness to his name type deal, right? And I realize when I'm not aligned, when I'm involved with products or companies or people that are not doing that, I don't feel good. I don't feel momentum, Onyx, right? I mean, we know, like Scott and I have experienced a huge surge of momentum. We know we're perfectly aligned with Steve and Gina, with you, with this company. The more I hear about David Schmidt, I'm like, is he my brother? Like, I feel like I think like this guy, you know? So what I mean, I'm watching them, and so there is such an alignment with this organization, with this time. And so aligned is the new hustle, because here's the deal, guys. If you're misaligned, you're not hustling. If you're misaligned, nothing is working right. It's like you're stumbling around like a drunk person, right? When you're aligned, you are like laser focused. You're locked and loaded. You got patches in your pocket. You got them on your shoulder. You've watched Start X39. You've watched every video on there. You've prepped yourself, right? The reason you're confident is because you've increased your own knowledge base, and that doesn't take long. I mean, just put it on your phone every time you sit on the toilet to take a poop. Just like watch 5 minutes of Start X39, watch a new video. Like, this is not hard stuff, you guys. When people say, I don't have time, I'm like, well, do you poop? And so if you poop, like, you can work this business. It's true, right? Because Onyx, we talk to people every day that are like, I don't have time. I'm like, trust me, you need to make the time, because this is going to change your life. So time, we all have the same amount of time. It's whether or not we're utilizing that time to bring forth the greatest good and use those priorities, that the things that are, I always say, it's not a money issue, it's a priority issue, right? When people say, I don't have the money, I'm like, well, you're still getting your nails done, you're still getting your hair colored, which I'm not saying you shouldn't do those things. You're still buying Starbucks every day. Listen, if you've got that, you have the money, you just need to make your health a priority. You know what I mean? And so alignment is the new hustle. So the first question, all of you watching today is are you aligned? Do you feel like I feel? Do you feel like Onyx feels? Do you feel like my husband, Scott, feels? He gets off phone calls. He's like, Renita, I feel so awesome when I get done talking to people. Like, it's not nagging and begging and dragging. It is such a positive thing. People are like, thank you so much for calling me. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Thank you for sharing this knowledge on Facebook, Renita, right? So again, are you aligned? And if you're aligned, let's get going. So we can hit the next slide there. I appreciate, is Sierra helping us today?
That's Sierra, yep.
Thank you, Sierra. You're beautiful. So how does this alignment work, and how can we do this like with LifeWave? And you know, honestly, I have so much left to learn, Onyx. Like, but here's what I've realized about myself: super coachable, super coachable. Like, if Onyx tells me something, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to listen to that, because she's got much more experience than me, right? And so I think a big thing for ourselves is to get out of our own way, right? If we've done things a certain way before, our own way, you got to ask yourself, did it work? Is it working? Is it bringing forth the results that you're looking for? But when I found out that Onyx had a system, don't you guys know what this system stands for? Save yourself some time, energy, and money. Like, we don't have to go off. You didn't know that acronym. Now you know it. Save yourself some time, energy, and money. Yeah. I mean, so when you do this, like, we don't have to go build a website. Onyx built it for us. Thank you, Onyx. We should all wake up every morning when we plug into our business, say, thank you, Onyx. You know, she built the system, right? She built Start X39. She built QFteambiz.com, like all of these incredible, beautiful resources for us to basically plug in to grow our businesses if that's what we want to do. Okay. The 331 system is awesome. I read it when I first got started, but I knew very quickly, Onyx, that I didn't want to just go do 331. I just knew that about myself. Now everybody will say, well, that's a lot for me. Well, then if it's a lot for you, that should be right where you're at, because it's kind of keeping you in that sweet spot, right? For me, I needed that times 10, right? Because Onyx, my goal, if I was going to do a 331, that means I was sponsoring about one person a day, which would be 30 people in a month. And Onyx, I wanted to sponsor 300, and I did, right? We did, Scott and I. And so when I saw that number, I'm like, 331 is fine if that is what you want to do. And it's a really great place to begin, right? It is like a beginner's paradise, because anybody can do that. Anybody can do 331. You have to ask yourself if you want to do it, right? If you're going to decide to do it, if you're going to commit to doing it, right? And so when I decided, I said to Scott, I said, you know what? We're just going to have to go. I'm going to have to take that times 10. Okay. Because my goal is to sponsor at least 10 people a day, to put 300 people in business in a month. I mean, it was basic math, right? I'm not like a mathematician or anything, but I just took the numbers times 10. So that means I need to speak to 30 people a day. I need to do 30 follow-ups a day, and I need to enroll 10 people a day. So, I mean, it was basic math, right, guys? But the beautiful thing about network marketing is, we all know this, It's the Metcalf principle. And I remember back when I started network marketing Onyx, I never knew what the Metcalf principle was, but my husband, Scott, is very, very good with numbers. And he said, Renita, it's like the law of duplication. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. He said, but what happens over time is this becomes this exponential growth because it's magical math. You might sponsor a person like me, right? And then they explode like me, right? Or I might sponsor somebody that maybe says, you know what, I'm not going to sponsor, I don't want to sponsor 30 people a day. That's excessive, Renita. Or, 10 people a day. Maybe they just want to sponsor that one a day. Perfect. You do you. You do what's right for you, and that's in your wheelhouse. That's perfect. The perfect place to be is you being authentic. That's the perfect place to be. It's not you being Renita. No one's going to be like me. God made me kind of wild. You know what I mean? But you be you, because the people that are involved in your organization, what do they want? They want you. They want to hear your story, right? They want to say, what has the patch done for you? Well, what did you get started with, right? They're your friends. They're your hot contacts. So know this, network marketing is the most incredible thing when it comes to numbers, because it literally at a certain point becomes magical math. When you look in your back office and you see 100 people added that day and you did not add them, maybe you added 3 that day, you know that this thing is incredible for people that are looking for exponential growth, for looking to help a lot of people and looking to make a financial impact in their lives. Right? So it's totally up to each and every one of us what we decide to do. The 331 system is beautiful, super place to begin, but you do what's right for you. So we can hit the next slide. Hopefully you guys believe that. Start saying that out loud. Network marketing is magical math, because it is. So how did I do it? How did Scott and I do this, right? Onyx, that was a question a lot of people have asked. Yep. And I will just be straight up with you. We have a lot of hot and warm contacts. So we didn't do this in 30 days. I did this over the course of 25 years. Right? Like the last 25 years, we've been completely developing relationships. We've been very integrity based, my husband and I, right? We love up on people. We serve. My husband is probably one of the greatest servant leaders you'll ever meet. Like, what can I do to help you? And he is just incredible at serving and blessing. And so I look at this opportunity and say, yeah, how did it go so fast? Well, it was 25 years of doing the right thing. Right? It was 25 years of just, you want to count all the times. For 15 years, I taught a free exercise class at a church at 5 a.m. in the morning. You don't do something at 5 a.m. in the morning 3 times a week for 15 years unless you truly love people. Eventually, when I handed that ministry off to another gal, unfortunately, it lasted about 3 months, because the average people don't want to go out and do that. They don't want to wake up at 5 to go teach people that they're not getting paid to do, but I've just chosen to do that. I mean, at one point in my life, I remember my boys saying to me, because I was on the news for 8.5 years for free. I never got paid to do that. Now I'd never be on the news because I think it's corrupt. I'm just going to say that. That's a little my belief system there. But I was the best darn thing on the news, because they were always getting amazing content, amazing things about health. I was always a crazy researcher, because I know people are busy and don't take time to do it. And I had the time, so I was doing it. And so what happened, Onyx, is I did all this for all these years. My kids would say, Mom, do you get paid to do anything? And I always would tell my boys, you know what? God is watching all of this. You can't outgive God. I guarantee it. I dare you to try. So those of you who are holding your patches so close and don't want to give one sample away to the neighbor lady, you better get your head and heart right. And you better get over to that neighbor and put that patch on their neck, because you cannot outgive God. Okay, let's not be stingy with patches. Let's say that out loud to ourselves. Let's not be stingy with patches. It's very important, because it's a biblical law of sowing and reaping, right? Onyx, if you're sowing into people and you're sowing into coming across saying, oh my gosh, see a need, fill a need, you will reap a harvest. I mean, it is a biblical law, unless God is just a liar, and we know he's not. And so how did it happen? I had a lot of hot and warm contacts. Scott and I had a lot of hot and warm contacts. We know a lot of people on social media. If you're not on social media, you can go to clubs. How many of you know people at church? I got news for you. Jesus's biggest ministry on earth, 80% of what Jesus walked the planet to do was, guess what? Healing people on the earth. He walked around. The lady bled for 30 years. She was healed in an instant when she touched the hems. He went to the healing waters in John. Guess what happened? The guy was laying there for 46 years on his yoga mat. Jesus said, get up, roll up your mat and walk. The guy did it, right? So there's all these incidences of the Bible where Jesus was literally healing people. Well, I think to myself, we go to church, Onyx, and we actually haven't gone to a whole lot of church since the pandemic. We do a lot of church at home now, but when you get into that atmosphere, there is a ton of hurting people. This is why they're going there on Sunday mornings. They want help. They want somebody to pray for them. They want to share their story. And like I said the other day, when someone shares their story, the healing has begun. When someone shares their story with you, the healing has begun. So let them share their story. That's part of the healing. But can you imagine if we actually went into the church and people were getting, the Eucharist, because we used to be Catholic and then we're evangelical Christians now, and they always offer up the bread and the wine, right? I'm like, can you imagine if they would just patch people while they're doing that? Like, we'd have a whole lot of healing going on in the church. It would be like miracles flowing through the church. So everybody that you're sitting next to at the church, they need the patch. They need the patch, you guys. Like, they don't need to go to a 17th doctor's appointment and get on their 14th medication. They need the patch. They need to unleash the miraculous healing abilities of our body and how God designed us. God designed us to be well, right? If you're saying, well, I don't go to church. Well, do you go to yoga? Do you go to yoga? I'll give you a great example. I know Onyx does yoga. I did a little hot yoga the other day on my way through with my son, Bo. He's like, Mom, go to hot yoga with me. I went to hot yoga and I was in the last pose, and the gal who was the instructor, all of a sudden I saw her patch fall to the ground. I didn't even know she had a patch on. And I looked over because there was a patch laying on the ground by her foot, and she picked it up and she put it in her bra. I said, oh, you're wearing the patch. She goes, yeah, Bo gave it to me. So Bo's going to yoga, patching up the instructors. Then he called me and he said, Mom, one of the instructors signed up and she did a silver pack. I said, awesome. Where do you want to go to help people? Do you want to go into the nursing homes? Do you want to go into the clubs? Do you want to go to church again? Do you want to go to a yoga class? I mean, some days I sit back, I just read this thing, and it's, I'm so crazy about nutrients and minerals because I'm a nutrition coach, Onyx. I learned a long time ago that when you're mineral deficient, mental illness goes up. And I also learned about copper in the last couple months, that when you are dark skin, dark hair, you need 7 times the amount of copper of a blonde. And so one day I thought to myself, I'm just going to go patch up everybody with dark hair today. I mean, this is how simple it is, you guys. Maybe I'm just a very simple mind, but I'm like, everybody I come across today, I'm going to offer to with dark hair, I'm going to offer to put a patch on them. Why? Because all it does is gives you a focus. Yep. We are so a society. They, you know what they've done? They've kept you so busy with all this crazy media, right? With the TVs, with the death ticker on the TVs, with all this crazy train stuff that doesn't even matter. It's just like worthless on the news, right? None of this even matters. It's a total joke. And they've done this to actually occupy your mind space to keep you from doing things that are really, really, really important, which are getting out and loving and serving one another. Right. So we've got to get back to that, Onyx. We've got to shut that tube. My mom used to call it the boob tube. Shut the boob tube off. We've got to shut off all these media sources that are not serving us anymore. In fact, when we watch them, we feel agitated, anxiety ridden, and almost depressed. We got to shut that off. It is not adding to the energy field of our body. Right. So now, I mean, I haven't got to my cold contacts yet, but today I'm actually got a cold contact just now before I came out here because she said, can you tell me more about that patch? Yes, I can. I didn't know this woman prior to yesterday, right? And so cold contacts are all around us. If you put a patch on, you might be at a coffee shop and someone says, what is that patch you're wearing, right? I might go to a yoga class and the person standing behind me, I see them grab their hip and I say, you know what? Is it possible that could I offer something that might help your hip? I see that you're hurting. What is it? Most people, if you say, can I share something with you that might help you? Most people are going to say, don't tell me what can help me. I don't want to know. Right, Onyx? Most people are going to say, yeah, what is it? You have something that can help me? Please share it. What is it? People, we need each other. Guys, this is why they tried to separate us. Don't you get it? They tried to put us like in cages. And we're like, now I'm like, no, unlock the cage, throw away the key, kick that thing over the curb. You're done with that business. Let's get back together. Let's start hugging people, patching people, loving up on people, praying over people, whatever it is that you do. Like, why not? I'm not living my life in fear. God has not given me a spirit of fear, but a power and a love and a sound mind. Let's get out with that power, love, and a sound mind and start making a difference. So let's hit the next thing. So that's hot and warm contacts. You guys can discern for yourself, what are my hot and warm contacts? Have I plugged into those? Or am I just sitting at home looking at my back office, right? I haven't even looked at the back office. Scott looks at the back office for me, Onyx. Yep. I just say, Scott, tell me where we're at. How many points do we need to get to the next rank? And Onyx, you know me, my goal was to take it to the tip top, very top month one. Yep. Unfortunately, we fell short. That's okay. We're going to hit it month two. And so for me, I mean, I like to set a goal. I like to set an extravagant goal because I have an extravagant father and his name is God. And so for me, it's like the bigger, the better. So now I didn't hit my top goal, which I wanted, but I hit the one right next to it. So that's pretty good. Like, and so we're going to just keep going with this thing, right, Onyx? But ask yourself, if you're looking at this, what are my hot and warm contacts? You should be jotting down notes. Who are my cold contacts? What could I do? They've made you so scared to go to the grocery store, to go pump gas. You guys, cold contacts are everywhere. Guess where they are at? If you get outside of your house. Go out, walk out your front door. There's going to be someone watering their lawn next door. There's, you know, across the street or three doors down. Go patch them. I thought about something the other day. I thought, when your goodness of God radiates so heavily, when you are such a light force, I thought about Gina Merritt and the gal that told the story where she came to Gina's door, right? I don't even know what she was doing at the door, what she was selling. I didn't understand that part of the story, but she came to Gina's door and Gina opens the door and says, "Hello, darling." I mean, Gina didn't even go out of her house. She is such a light force right now. People are coming and knocking on her door. This is so awesome. So I'm encouraging you, all of you, to get out and get patching up. Make sure you have extra patches. If you don't have extra patches, it's going to be very, very hard for you to grow your business. So the first thing all of you should do today is get in your back office and hit the upgrade button. Let's just ask ourselves right now, how many of you need a life upgrade? Show of hands. Pretend like I can see you. Raise your hand if anyone in the room needs a life upgrade. Anybody need an upgrade in an area of your life? Maybe it's with your body. Maybe it's with your hair, right? Maybe it's with your skin. Maybe it's in your relationship. Maybe it's in your finances. Maybe it's with your emotional relationship with your children. I don't know. We all need upgrades in multiple areas of our lives. No one is perfect. And our goal is really, with this upgrade, having those patches, by upgrading the kit to gold or platinum or diamond, you have the power tools. You literally have the power patch. I'm going to start calling it a power patch. You have the power patch to put on somebody to change the frequency of their life, not only their health, but their life, Onyx. So we need to all get in today, do the upgrade, gold, platinum, or diamond. If you haven't done that, it's imperative to the growth of your business. Because if you don't have patches, if you're rationing, listen, if you're rationing and you haven't given out a patch yourself, it tells me you're stuck in a subconscious belief, which we live 90% of our life from, of scarcity. Okay. Scarcity is something where there is no expansion. There is no growth when you're in scarcity, Onyx. We have to be in an abundance mode in order to expand our lives and our health and the health of others. So let's say that you're in a scarcity mode. You're not giving away one patch to one person because I don't want to spend the money. I don't have the money, but you're still going to Starbucks every day. You know, you got to get real with yourself. Like, I realize people need to get real with where they're at and what they want. You can't say that you want explosive growth or to go presidential and you haven't invested in your business because you're still thinking from scarcity. I'm not going to give a patch away. Ask yourself, ask yourself this right now. Am I operating from a limited belief system of scarcity, or am I operating from you're choosing it, a chosen system of abundance? Which one are you operating from, scarcity or abundance? When you start operating from abundance, it is like the river of life opens. The floodgates open. They call it the flow. You step into the flow where Gina Merritt's opening her door and people are standing there waiting for the patch, right? I mean, it literally becomes like that. So ask yourself, do I have to change a little bit of belief system about how I'm thinking? So how Scott and I did this is when I first saw what happened to my mom and my dad, I cast a wide net. I love in the Bible where the fishermen were fishing all night, right? And they were exhausted. They were laying down. Some of you are exhausted from looking at your back office. Some of you are exhausted for wondering why your business isn't growing. Some of you are exhausted from thinking about making a phone call, right? I'll tell you what, that exhaustion leaves when you get on the phone and then you get off the phone like Scott, and Scott says, I feel so great after each one of these phone calls. It's literally like a fuel of life where it's an exchange of energy between Scott and the person he's talking to, and life reignites. I mean, it is so fabulous what is happening here, right? But what we did is we casted a wide net. I was not quiet about it. I was not quiet about it when we started this business. I didn't think to myself, well, I'm going to fly under the radar. We were with another company, Onyx, right? And I'll be honest with you, we didn't know that we were breaking the rules of the other company when we started patching, because this patch is unique. Nobody else has this patch in the world. I mean, yep. David's got 120 plus, 130 plus patents and 80 clinical studies. You know, the beautiful thing about this, nobody can duplicate what we have. That's called the financial opportunity of a lifetime. It's not like next week there's going to be a patch like ours, right? You know, so I was in the CBD space, and all of a sudden when that switched, what happened? Everybody could buy CBD everywhere, right, Onyx? And so our business got a lot harder. With this, there is no competition. The only competition are the old cassette tapes in your head. That is the only competition at this point, is you replaying those old cassette tapes that are telling you, I can't talk to somebody. What if they tell me no? I don't know enough. I'm not smart enough. Come on, God dang it. You are smart enough. You are good enough. God said so. So we cast that wide net. In the Bible, it said they were exhausted. How many of you have been exhausted by all this garbage in the last 3 years? It was exhausting to be part of all this, right? Wasn't it? But when the biggest thing I can tell you is when these fishermen were exhausted, what happened that morning? It was like sunrise, it says in the word, and Jesus shows up and he says, he was actually on the beach, and he hollered out to the tired fishermen in the boat, cast your net again. And they're like, what? We're not going to cast our net again. We've been fishing all night. We didn't catch one fish. And Jesus hollers out from the beach, cast your net on the right side of the boat. It's in scripture. It says, cast it on the right side of the boat. Do you know what that is in my world? The right side of the boat is the people that want it. If you're talking to your sister-in-law that's told you no 17 times, move on to a new person. She's not the right side of the boat. The right side of the boat are the people that want to hear it, that are seeking, that are searching, that are wanting to be well. There's been an explosion of people seeking alternative modalities of healing in the last 3 years. Do you know this? Trust me, I operate in this realm. My specialty is getting people well. There has been an explosion of new ideas and modalities of healing that people are open to now, Onyx, that they weren't open to 3 years ago, right? So there actually has been this awakening, right? For people saying, I got to try something else. You know, I got 4 vaccines and I got COVID 3 times. What's going on? So they're starting to switch and maneuver away from this broken medical model, unfortunately. And it's not completely broken, because we have really great physicians in the field, really great naturopaths, really great NPs. But, you know, they're few and far between, because the medical model as a whole is not designed actually to get us well, Onyx, right? It's actually designed to a lot of times just kind of mask those symptoms and hopefully we quit complaining, right? So my goal for you guys and my goal for Scott and I was like, we're going to cast a wide net. And when I cast that wide net in social media, I wasn't thinking nobody's going to reach out to me. It's an intention. Listen, I'm at a muscle testing conference for 2 days. I could sit here and I could muscle test Onyx remotely about what's going on in Onyx's body. That's how incredible we are. We have an energy. It's called quantum. Have you guys ever heard of quantum science, quantum energy? I mean, this is why she calls it quantum field, right? Because we have an energy about us where we can connect. I could connect right here with Onyx sitting over there. People say, how can you do that? Well, do you believe in prayer? Have you ever prayed for anybody? My kid's down in Lollapalooza right now. I'm praying like a mad woman for him, right? So I'm like, I want him to be safe. So when you throw that intention out into the atmosphere, guess what happened? Guess what happens? Everything, Onyx. They told us that didn't matter. And actually it's what matters most. So when I cast that wide net out into social media, I didn't think, well, no one's going to inbox me. I said to Scott, get ready. The floodgate's about to open, baby. I mean, I expected it. I didn't think, well, I hope someone, it was none of this victim. Get rid of the victim. You got to step into victory, baby. You got to shut off that 95% and say, I'm stepping into the 5% today where I have power over my future. They've told us we don't have power over things, right? They even told us you're probably sick walking around even though you don't have any symptoms, and people believe this crap, right? So for me, it's like, no, here's the first thing y'all need to do. Take back your power. Take back your power by believing you can. So I cast that wide net with expectation, and guess what happened? Just like Jesus said, cast the net on the right side of the boat. That's what he hollered out to these guys. They were tired. And what happened? It took all of the men to drag the fish in on the boat. One drop of that net, and everything changed. And then what happened when they dropped the net? They did that with belief. So I dropped the net on social media with belief, Onyx, with intention that I'm going to serve 1 million people. Like, I'm like not thinking, I hope this works. I'm like, this is going to work. I saw what it did for my dad's legs. I saw what it did for my mom's Parkinson's. Like, this is going to work. And when I dropped it, that was the easy part. Some of you can't even get through that because you're still in your head with the old cassette tapes. After I dropped it, guess what I said to Scott? Are you ready to work? Onyx, we looked at our boys and we said, listen, for the next 30 days, we are living, breathing, and sleeping this. Are you going to the lake on 4th of July? Nope. Next year, we'll buy a lake cabin. We didn't go to the lake on the 4th of July. Guess what I did, Onyx? Sponsored 60 people. Okay, I stayed home and sponsored people. And some of you say, well, I want to go to the lake. Okay, go to the lake then. My decision was, I'm buying a lake cabin. I'm buying a lake cabin so my boys can have a boat and a cabin. And how's that going to happen? By sacrificing this year at the lake, and I'll get there next year in my own cabin, right? Got it? So sometimes, got to remember, you got to sacrifice sometimes in life. But I mean, honestly, 30 days, is that really sacrificing? So now we said to our boys at the end of the month, guess what, guys? Thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for helping us. Our son Bull was is in the business with us. He's mailing things out. He's going and talking to people. He's patching people. Truett and Rocco, they're in our business. They're helping us on social media. They're 13 and 15. We are in this together at our house. Like, we are all, it's kind of like this. When Jesus told them to drop the net and they dropped the net, Peter didn't say, well, one or two of you needs to help out. He said, all hands on deck to pull up that net of fish. So this is how our house has been, Onyx. We prepared our family in advance, and we didn't say, we're going to try to have balance. I think balance is such a myth. Have you ever had a child? Have you met a nursing mother? Ask her about balance. She'll probably punch you in the nose. She's so tired, right? Because she's nursing that baby every 3 hours, right? And so balance is a myth. When we come through major seasons of transition, Onyx, there's going to be major imbalance, right? There's always, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a birth, whether it's launching a new business, there always is going to be imbalance. So quit telling yourself, I have to stay balanced. It's not going to work. But here's the deal. Get ready to get to work. Get ready to work. So once you drop the net, work, marketing. This is Jesus's analogy in the Bible. Drop the net. They all had to get to work pulling it in. Then they had to go get rid of, they had to fillet those fish so people could eat them, right? So think about this. So be yourself. People love authenticity. I'm going to tell you the reason people love me or hate me. Sometimes I rub people the wrong way. And I know that about myself. But you know why? It's because most likely that person is having a problem living authentically. I mean, I'm just saying it straight. They do. Sometimes they look at people and they say, that person, I don't like them. They're too loud. They're too intense. They're too energetic. And that's fine. You don't have to like me. I don't need anybody to like me. I just need God to love me. Okay. At the end of the day, that's all I need. And I know that in my heart, when Scott and I started on this, our intention was, I had a goal because I'm a smart woman. So I had a goal, but our intention was to get out and bless and help as many people as possible. We're talking millions. Like, that was our intention. So we're throwing that out there. Right. And so that's us. That's who Scott and I are. If you're around us, you'll know that about us, right? So I encourage all of you that are watching this, be yourself, be authentic, love people authentically. But I will also tell you this, be careful that you're not operating from the gibberish from the 95% cassette tapes in your head. Because if you're operating from that old record tape or that old cassette tape of shame, guilt, I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, your business is not growing. And honestly, you're not helping more people. And that's exactly what the devil wants. He wants you to stay stuck. Look at growth. Growth is always God. Okay. Stuck and shame and all those nasty words, they are very low frequency energy, right? Love, enlightenment. right? All these things are very, very high frequency states, right? If you just look at literally, I don't know if you guys have ever read the book Power versus Force, but they talk about this, right? Anyway, so people relate to stories faster than science. So they want to hear what it's done for you. If you don't have an immediate story, then I would encourage you to go patch 2 to 5 people around you consistently that you are talking to, because those people are going to have feedback. They're going to have feedback for you. Someone is going to have feedback. If you have, or don't have any stories, it tells me you've patched no one. It tells me, I'm like, you better get busy patching more people so you got some stories. And then if you say, Renita, I honestly can't pay my bills. I can't afford any extra patches. Do you guys know that there's a story channel Monday through Thursday that Onyx has created called the Zoom meeting where you can get on the stories every single night and get your guests on there. If you don't have a story, Onyx has made a way for you to plug into the stories until you get your own stories. I mean, this is a connect the dot business. I feel like one of those little things where you're supposed to draw a dog and you go 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. I feel like that's what you've given us, Onyx. I'm like, if you're not having success, it's because you're just not taking the next step. And then you have to ask yourself why. And then you have to put that in a jar and put the lid on. Some of you need to put duct tape over the lid and walk away from that jar and get busy with creating a new belief system, right? So healing is contagious. Fun is contagious. Success is contagious. That's why when people get on a meeting like this, or when people get on a Wednesday night meeting, or when people get on one of those story Zooms, those testimony Zooms, what happens, Onyx? Their belief skyrockets. They get off there and they say, that gal on there had a situation where she had diabetes or they had headaches. I know 3 people that have headaches. I should call them, right? It almost increases the belief in ourselves when you hear others. This is the gospel. This is how it was spread. Stories are what spread the gospel. They're like, did you hear that Jesus healed the blind man? Did you hear that Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead after he was dead for 3 days? Like, this is what the gospel was all about, right? And then people were like, who is this Jesus? Stories are what captivate our hearts, Onyx. We've got to get back to our hearts. You can have the goals. The goals are very mental, right? It's like a forward motion. But then when we get back into our hearts, I'm actually attending a conference right now that's called Heart Space. That's the name of it, Heart Space, because we've disconnected our minds from our hearts. But what happens is when you connect your heart to your mind, you're a rocket ship. You become passionate. You become filled with enthusiasm. Enthos is a word that actually means the God within. That's what enthusiasm means, the God within. So if you're saying, I don't have passion like this woman, you know what? Patch more people, learn more, read more, get on more Zooms, right? Do all these things that are going to help to increase your belief so that you can ooze with passion instead of drama. I've realized passion and drama are 2 different things. Passion is where it's purposeful. It's moving forward. Drama is where you're sitting back talking about what someone's wearing or something stupid that pertains to nothing. I'm like, what are you talking about that for? Who gives a rip what people are wearing? You know, most of my time I'm doing Zoom meetings with bandanas on because I like Bon Jovi, you know? So like, if you don't like that, then, I mean, don't look at my bandana. Right. So at a certain point, when you have passion, you're going to overlook all that other stuff that really is meaningless. Honestly, Onyx, so much of what is that we occupy our eye space in a day is meaningless. I'm just going to tell you guys the truth. I heard it the other day at yoga. The gal said at yoga, stop letting your energy leak out of your eyes. That's what she said. Stop letting your energy leak out of your eyes. How many of you watching this right now have let your energy leak out of your eyes by watching another news source, by watching another Q, by watching another this stuff, that stuff? Hey, listen, politics is going to go on if you die tomorrow, okay? The world is going to go on. I actually think they signed the presidents in advance. I don't think we actually have control over much of it. You know what I got control over? My body. I took back my control by believing I can, and you can too. And start sharing that message. Quit sharing the message about everything else. Start sharing the message. I took control. You can too. So people with great passion, they make the impossible happen. These are the people that are going like Steve and Gina, month 1, right? I mean, 1 rank above Scott and I, which is like phenomenal. Like now I'm like, okay, we got to get our track shoes on and run month 2 here. So, you know, how do we do this, you guys? all of the tools that Onyx has given us. All of you should be plugging into these tools. It's incredible. We know that when you look at that 331 system, you look at the qfteambiz.com. Now, listen, if you've heard us say that, if you've been on one of Onyx's webinars and you've heard us say that, and you've not been here, that's part of the problem, my friends. You got to plug in. You can have here's the deal. I have reprogrammed myself in 30 days to this business. Do you guys know that we're all programmed? Onyx, you're programmed. I'm programmed. Most of us were programmed what we learned between the ages of 0 and 7. And I'm sorry if you had a lot of bad, crappy stuff happen to you, but guess what? I did too. And we can pull out of that because our God is good and gracious and merciful. Okay, you don't have to live there anymore. But here's what else I know about programming. You have to change it. You have to consciously decide to change it. I could buy, how many of you bought a brand new computer? Onyx, have you ever bought a brand new computer?
Oh, sure.
When you get the computer, Onyx, is there anything on the computer? Like, let's say you want to go do a Microsoft Word document.
Right? No, gotta.
No, there's nothing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to buy Microsoft. How much is it? And then I got to download it before I can like do a Microsoft Word document. Okay. So when you get the computer, it's a brand new computer. You have a brand new opportunity with LifeWave, some of you. Brand new. Some of you are less than a day old and you're getting on this, right? Maybe some of you haven't joined yet. It's a brand new computer. It's a brand new opportunity. My question is, what are the programs you're going to download? What are the programs you're going to put on this computer? Are you going to put QF Team Biz on your computer? Are you going to put Start X39 on your computer? Are you going to go into your back office and hit shop and upgrade and have more patches to share with people on your computer? What are you programming in right now? And that, if you look at the programs, if I look at the programs on my computer, I can tell you what I have access to, Onyx. So some of us need to look at our computer. Some of you say, I got started with this thing 2 years ago and I haven't done a darn thing. Well, you know what? I love unplugging the computer sometimes. Do you guys too? It's amazing when you unplug something, you plug it back in, it kind of starts fresh, right? Yep. Or Control Alt Delete. I wish there was times in my life where I could Control Alt Delete things in my life that have happened, right? But think about this. Unplug your computer. Physically do this. It's like a spiritual realm, actually. It's an emotional, spiritual realm for people. Unplug the computer, plug it back in and say, what am I going to download today? What am I going to program in myself today to really have success with this LifeWave opportunity? God has given me a gift. What am I going to do to program so that I can have success? So I actually live my life as if everything is rigged in my favor. I'm not the person, I don't have a confidence issue. Okay. I mean, I met President Trump, took pictures with him, jumped up on, hugged him, got an accidental picture of the back of his hair. I would tell next time I see President Trump, I'll actually patch him. I have no problem with confidence. You know why? Because I actually think God is for me. God is for me. You guys have to start saying that out loud. I mean, I was raised in an abusive alcoholic home where I was told I was worthless my entire childhood. So when I committed my life to Jesus Christ at 25, I had to literally get rid of the old programming because I thought I was worthless and my lifestyle actions were representing that, Onyx. So you know what I did to reprogram myself? I opened up the Word of God and I found a couple key statements. I am more than a conqueror through Christ who gives me strength. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, right? For I know the plans I have for you, Renita, says the Lord, plans to lift you up, give you a hope and a future, to prosper you, never to harm you. So I realized in a hurry, all of these positive statements, all these positive scriptures, right? You can call them affirmations, whatever you want. I started writing them on Post-it notes everywhere, Onyx, because remember, my brain was designed to tell me I was worthless. Okay, just because my mom and dad did the best they could with what they knew, but they were hurting, and hurt people, right? And so what happened is I literally reprogrammed myself and I started taking Post-it notes and putting them everywhere, Onyx. I put them on my visor in my car. I put them on my steering wheel in my car. I put them on my bathroom mirror. I put them on my closet door. I put it in my pocket. When I'd have an old negative stinking thinking belief come up, I'd pull out the positive thing that God said about me and I'd read it out loud and I'd say my name in it. I would say my name in it as if it was written for me. And guess what happened? I did this for like 30 days. I had to reprogram myself because I was so negative. Not because I wanted to be, it was just kind of what happened to me, right? And so I had to actually unplug the computer, plug it back in and say, what are the programs going to be this time? This business with this opportunity. I'm sorry if you've had a bad experience in network marketing. You might need to unplug the computer and plug it back in and let that sucker go, right? So the brain actually will change through the heart. And what that means is when Scott gets off the phone and he's hearing these stories and he's getting these text messages and we're reading these people that their lives are changing. Their parents are stopping to have pain in a minute of putting the patch on. How come my mom and dad don't have to take their pain meds today, Renita? Like all of this stuff that's happening every time I read one of those text messages, phone calls, messengers. You know what it does? It just makes my belief even stronger. It's like my brain just went to my heart again. Do you know what we've had a problem with in our country, Onyx? We've let everything go from our head to our heart without filtering in. I had a pastor once and he said, remember this, your brain is the watchdog for your heart. Your brain is the watchdog for your heart. Some of you have taken in the mainstream media. You've taken in all this garbage from the last few years and you let it go directly to your heart. As a result, you sat in your house with 3 masks on, watching CNN. You know what I mean? This is what happened to people. It's so unfortunate. The brain changes through the heart. What we need to do is ask ourselves, what are we letting into our brain? What are we letting in? And do we need to stop some things in our head and not let them go to their heart? Okay. I had a gal reach out. I reached out to this one gal. I got one negative story. I reached out to this one gal who I really like. And I said to her, oh my gosh, you should take a look at this business. And everybody has been like, no one has said no, Onyx, except this one gal. And this is what she said to me. Renita, I'll be honest. I stopped following you a year ago on social media because you're too ADHD. That's what she said to me. Wow. I stopped following you a year ago on social media because you're too ADHD. Now, part of me thinks I am severely ADHD, but I think it is actually a superpower at this age in my life. I can get a lot of things done. I can help a lot more people. And honestly, with nutrition, I can control it pretty well. I've never been on any meds. I'm not currently on meds. I don't want to be on meds. But what I had 2 choices to make when I got that response. She inboxed it to me on Messenger. I still have it. I showed it to Scott. Scott laughed. But we had 2 choices in that moment. And the 2 choices were this. The choices were, do I let that, what she just said to me, go from my head to my heart? Or do I say, no problem. I'm happy that you shared that information with me. I want to share my information with you. But if this is something you don't want to do, that's no problem. And I let it go. And I literally dropped it. Like as soon as I read it, it could have went like, oh my gosh, this is feeding my old cassette tapes of I'm not good enough, I'm ADHD. She literally said that I quit following you because you're too ADHD. She said it just like that, Onyx. And I could have just went like this, head to heart, and been like, oh my gosh, started worrying about what she said. And I thought I took a step back and I said, that's okay if she thinks like that about me. I said, I know who God made me to be. And I'm going to love her anyway from afar. And eventually she'll be in my business. But for right now, I got to go. That's literally what I said in my head. So I stopped that negativity from going like from my head down to my heart. I stopped it. You all need to work on that. When someone says no to you, you got to get emotionally detached from that outcome. If they say no, you got to stop it right here and not say, well, maybe I'm not supposed to do this business. We just go, whoop, whoop, whoop. We let it all fall into our heart, Onyx. We got to stop the train right here and say, is this going to contribute to the growth of me? Is it going to contribute to the growth of my business? Is it going to contribute to the growth of me getting out and serving and blessing others? And if the answer is no, let it leave you like a turd. Let it leave you like a turd is my advice. Okay. You got to let it go. That's like, okay. You guys got it. I could talk all day, but that is like a lot, right? A lot of stuff.
Thank you for sharing. I think that everybody can feel the energy, the passion, the drive, the belief, and the unstoppability that both Scott and Renita are showing, exhibiting, and leading by. And it's what drives all of us. Each one of you is different. Each one of you, I want you to be different. Renita wants you to be different. I'm not the same as Renita. Renita's not the same as me. Renita's not the same as Marcy. Marcy's not the same as me. We're all different. We all have something wonderful to offer. And that's the beautiful thing about this business is that we can go together. We can all be different. You find what works for you. But one of the things that I heard over and over and over again is plug in and use the tools. Sierra, will you put the screen up for everybody for how to plug in? Because I can't find you. You all have to come find us. I can help you. I can be a part of it. If you guys have a camera, take your camera out. I would say grab a picture of this. These are all the different places that you can connect with this beautiful team of light workers. And it's full of people that want to see you succeed in this business. Because all of us started out one day where we didn't know what we were doing. And we went to what I called MLM Business School. And we started at MLM Business School and we made mistakes, but we made mistakes together and we grew together. We grew together and our belief grew and our understanding grew and our people skills grew and our ability to promote grew and our ability, all of it starts growing, but nothing grows unless you decide to plug in and to connect. So everything's been set up for you all to succeed. And you're watching others are using it to succeed. And if you're seeing other people succeed using the exact same tools, this is a business of copying. This has been the fastest growing team in the company, and there's no mistake. Marcy, Peter, myself, Kathy, all the leaders that have contributed to making X39's quantum field 331, this incredible system that it's been, it's because of all of us that we can all go together. Renita's casting a big net. You know what Onyx has been doing? I've been building a rocket ship, you all. I've been building a rocket ship for the last 3 years because I've done a rocket ship before. I know what it looks like. I know what it is to bless 1 billion families positively, not just with the power of the patch, but also with the finances. And there'll be some of both on this rocket ship, but I want you to know there's space on this rocket ship for everyone. And it doesn't matter your race, your color, your creed, your religion, your education, whether you've done network marketing or never done network marketing, it doesn't matter. We all go together. We heal together. We grow together. We fly together. So Renita, you blessed us today. Thank you so, so much for sharing. It's been an absolute—
Onyx, can I just bless everybody and say a quick prayer over everybody watching today? Would that be okay?
Yep.
Father God, we're just so thankful for Onyx, for her leadership, for her rocket ship that she's been establishing. Father God in heaven, right now, I just ask that anybody who's watching this that needs some chains to be broken off their lives, maybe it's a belief system upgrade that they need. Maybe it's a monetary upgrade belief system that they need. Maybe it's a health upgrade system change that they need. They've been maybe in the gutter or in the trenches for a long time, God. We just ask for a supernatural upgrade right now for everybody watching, that their finances would grow, that their health would just drastically improve, that every person they touch with this patch would just be almost a magical patch experience where they'd be like the miracles are happening from person to person, and all we have to do is we have to just cast that net on the right side of the boat and pull it in. God, we're willing to do the work. We are the light workers, as Onyx said. We are willing to get out and serve and bless others. Thank you for every gift and talent that you've given everybody on this Zoom today. Thank you for all of their family members. Put a mighty shield of protection around each one of these people, every one of their children and their grandchildren for generations to come. We love you, Lord Jesus. Thank you for this awesome opportunity. And thank you for Onyx, Steve and Gina, David Schmidt, and all the amazing people of LifeWave. Have a great day.
Thank you, Renita. That was absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, everybody. I hope that you've enjoyed today's. This is what's coming next week. So on Wednesday night, we're going to be doing an opportunity meeting with Steve and Gina. So what do you all want to do? Promote. You can jump on the Zoom just yourself. If you just want to come on to build your own personal belief, you can jump on the Zoom with prospects. If you want to grow your business, you can jump on the Zoom with people in your team. But I would assume that nobody in your team knows anything about it. Assume that they're not plugged in. By the way, if you all are on Telegram, you can invite the people on your team to join the Telegram group. You can also do the same thing in Facebook. So you can help your team get plugged in if they're not plugged in. And next Saturday, we're going to do the follow-up and close with Matt and Kim Curtis. And if you haven't met Matt and Kim, you're going to love them. They're fantastic people, beautiful builders, beautiful people, just people with a beautiful heart. I've known them for many, 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 many years. And so I look forward to sharing their perspective, because this whole opportunity is about each one of you being the best you that you can be, seeing what other leaders are doing that's working, plugging into the tools that are working for all of us. We're all doing the same thing. I'm doing 331. Renita's doing 3031, but me, I'm doing 331 every day. And that's what works for me. And you got to do what works for you. I loved the magical math, that network marketing is magical math. And I agree with Renita. I think that because of this little patch, we're moving into a season of miracles. So join us in this season of miracles. Start sharing this product if you're not sharing it. It's okay. You don't have to know everything. Be ignorance on fire. And maybe like do what Renita said. Spend 5 or 10 minutes a day going to the QF Teen Biz site and watching one of the videos. Just get a little bit each and every day. But remember, stay focused on money-making activities, which for you is going to be sponsoring with people, interacting with people, doing that 331 each and every day. That's exactly what I do every day. I'm still doing every day. I'm telling you, in 5 years from now, when we're still here building that rocket ship, the rocket ship is taking off, I'll still be doing my 331, because that's the way I build my business. Every single day, I'm prospecting, just like Renita. What a beautiful call. Thank you for blessing us, sweetheart. Thank you, Scott, for all you've done to help support Renita and yourself and the family. It's wonderful to see a team be able to work together like the two of you are working together. And thank you for blessing this beautiful community. You've been a blessing to us. Thank you. God bless.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Everybody have a great day. Bye, everyone.